I mean, I feel like best of fives are gonna be easier than last year just because feels more like a unit
Hmm.
and people are listening to each other a lot.
Hi everyone, it's Tom reporting from the LEC Spring Split. With me here is Odoamne, the top laner of Rogue, who just had, I guess, a pretty comfortable victory over BDS, and with that, stay in the race for the first play finish. Now, still depend on Fnatic and what they're doing. Odo, how are you feeling after that result? Especially, I guess, also in light of the loss against SK yesterday.
Uh, it feels pretty good. Feel like yesterday we dropped the ball and that kind of sucked. But mostly I'm happy that I'm off the Graves train.
I
I
saw your
was kind
tweet.
of
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I was on the Graves. I was on a Graves marathon. I think my last 5 games were all Graves, and I honestly I was feeling like an NPC, where
Mm-hmm.
my teammates come to me and they just receive a quest or whatever.
Yeah.
So honestly, that's how that was what I felt like I was doing most of the time when I was playing Graves, because my role was, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know, yeah,
Farm, buy hull breaker, push lane. Yep.
yeah. So this like today, I was like, I'm not gonna play this anymore. I'm gonna go and play Gnar, and if I'm gonna do exactly the same thing where I will just farm and stuff,
Mm.
but at least I have a lot more impact in the game, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Overall, was a decent game. There was a bit of throwing and stuff, but I mean, win's
Yeah.
a win. We are convincingly ahead, and we're kind of chilling. Just some mistakes, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. How important is it still for you guys to actually get that first place finish in the standings in the standings, because that makes you able to choose who you're gonna play in the best of fives and playoffs. Sometimes, most of the time, it's actually very important, but sometimes you can maybe think, okay, it doesn't really matter which one of the other two we face. How is what's your vision on this?
I mean, at first glance, I was like, yeah, if you get first, it's nice. You get to pick who to play, but in reality, you would play the other team anyway in the second round
Mm-hmm.
if you win. So it's like, yeah, it's nice to kind of get to pick who you play and stuff, because I mean, yeah, you feel like you'll make a good decision and you pick the team that you're most likely to beat and all of this. But I mean, I don't know. At this point, it's kind of out of our hands. So if Fnatic gets first, then sucks. That's that's life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. If you look at the grand scheme of things, then yeah, I mean, you need to beat everyone if you want to win. So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So in the end, it's not that important for you guys at this
yeah, I mean,
point.
if you end up third or fourth or fifth or sixth, yeah, you're still bad.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't win, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
So if we look at the Rogues results overall, first half of the split was obviously very good, but in the second half of the split, now it's maybe a bit of narrative as well. But you're 4-4 at this point, which is a much more mediocre result, especially if you see the growth that other teams are making. So what do you attribute that? I don't want to be too dramatic, but it's kind of a fall, like a stumble, maybe. What do you attribute that
yeah.
to?
Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, the thing is when you compare everything to 9-0, no matter what you get, it's gonna be a fall. Because I mean, let's say we win tomorrow against G2, we're gonna be 5-4.
Mm-hmm.
Fnatic wins today, and tomorrow they're gonna be 7-2, if I'm not mistaken, in second half of the split. Because
Yeah.
they're 7-2, I think, in the first half. So it's like, yeah, they just won 2 more games than us in second half. It's just
Mm-hmm.
it's more so that, yeah, you were 9-0 and then
Right.
you went 5-4, so that sucks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do feel like teams got better. And I know it's not like, I mean, we lost to Fnatic, and tomorrow we have actually we lost to Misfits as well. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, teams got better. Teams got better. Maybe we stagnated in a way, but I feel like most of our losses that we had were kind of um obvious mistakes that were
Mm-hmm.
kind of easy to identify and fix. feel like that's always been the story with Rogue. Whenever you lose, it's kind of like we're the ones making those mistakes, and it's so obvious what we did wrong.
Yeah.
And it's in our hands to fix it for the next time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's not to take from the other teams because I felt like it was kind of natural for teams to get better. We just gelled well from the beginning, I would say,
Yeah.
and teams took a bit of longer while to get it together.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's just natural evolution.
Okay. Okay. Well,
I'm not really getting alarm bells, that we're like 4-4, so
Mm-hmm.
our form is dropping because I feel like the quality of our games is still like okay-ish.
Okay.
Um, it's just maybe we're making slightly more mistakes than
Yeah.
we usually do, or like than we did in the first half of the split.
Mm-hmm.
But also we need to remember that in first half of split, it was a lot easier to play because teams were worse. So
Sure. But if I see an overarching theme, not team, but theme in your losses, and maybe it's a bit too simplified, but I'd like to your opinion on this. Is that Astralis? I think you also lost against Vitality and Fnatic and SK. What they all effectively did was shut down Malrang and his roams and his ganks, and answered that very directly. Do you think that is an overarching theme in your losses, and that's something you guys need to take a deeper look at heading to best of fives, where something like this can also be maybe exploited more?
um, well, I think two of our losses
Mm-hmm.
were kind of direct result of losing early game and Herald as
Okay.
well. Actually, I don't know. Two or three of our losses are just from the fact that we have comp, we have like a comp that is strong early game,
Mm-hmm.
and we somehow managed to lose Herald. So we kind of lost one of our main win conditions. Because I feel like when you play Graves and you lose Herald, you kind of become a bot.
Yeah.
Because this champ is kind of like a stat checker
Mm-hmm.
where you're supposed to get ahead and have a lot of gold on you, like a big influx of gold on yourself, and you can just be super tanky and be super annoying on side lane. So I just feel like, I don't know, we lost early game, and I don't feel like it was that Maran got shut down. I feel like
Mm.
I don't know, we just lost team fights.
Yeah.
We lost early game, and I feel like it wasn't really you know individual misplay from Marang, or that like they shut him down early and then he was like lost on the map and stuff like this. I mean, yeah, maybe there were times where we didn't really have like the greatest early game, but then the game got back into a stable position,
Mm-hmm.
and then we just I think threw twice or like 2 or 3 games at Herald, and I feel like that was a really really big deal for the style of comps
Yeah.
we draft. So I don't know. I wouldn't say that it's the fact that they figured out Marang. I would say that it's more like we didn't really have our priorities straight around these like objectives, or we weren't really um, super prepared to like contest these objectives. Because against Fnatic, when we lost, they contested a Drake that we thought was uncontestable because they just dropped a wave on bot and a wave on mid, and they walked through like a really bad position, and we just weren't ready to fight because we thought the Drake was free. So they just took the Drake and then they won early game, and then they
Mm-hmm.
took Herald and then they won the game, and the early game is snowballed.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the other 2 games we lost Herald again. So it's more so lack of maybe preparation on how
Okay.
to properly judge these situations. Because that's why I say this like easily identifiable. Because it's not like, oh, we went for a gank that we didn't need to go and blah blah blah. It's like all these 4 losses have been around a neutral objective that we had all the tools to get it, but we didn't do our homework properly, and we just lost those objectives when we had it in our hands. So
Mm-hmm.
that's mostly what I feel like were the big factors for our losses.
Okay. Okay. Well, also looking ahead a bit, this is a point that has been discussed endlessly and tirelessly. Is Rogue in best of fives? Because even though you guys made it to the finals last year, that's obviously where things faltered because I guess pressure and stuff like that got to you. This year, it's looking like, as you said, you guys got along very well from the beginning, and that synergy seems better. Do you think that pressure is going to be less of an issue this time around?
I mean, pressure is always going to be there, I think, but I feel like
Right, but is it going to be whether it's an issue or not is obviously a variable.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be issues, I think. I mean, I think for every team, best of five changes things, and
Mm.
the pressure is gonna like affect you. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's gonna be as dramatic as it was last year, because I feel like just the roster harmony is a lot higher than last year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year I felt like last year's mood, or like the overall synergy of the squad, was heavily reliant on are we winning or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was one of those rosters where if we win, everyone's friendly. If we lose, yeah, everything goes downhill.
Yeah.
And I feel like this year, I mean, obviously, if you win, everyone's happier, But
Right.
uh,
But you've also lost a few games now, and the mood isn't affected by that, you mean? Or
yeah, I feel like this. I mean, I feel like best of fives are gonna be easier than last year, just because feels more like a unit,
mm-hmm.
and people are listening to each other a lot. And yeah, I mean, I feel like still overall we're really, really solid. Just we need to work on, you know, more styles of draft
Yeah.
and whatnot, and also kind of clean up on gameplay issues, because I feel like all of these games that we lost are like gameplay issues around like neutral objectives. So
Right. Right. Yeah. I then a final topic, because we've talking for a while, but you do mention the draft, and that's another thing people have spoken about with Rogue, is that okay, weak side top, they have a heavy ganking jungler, scaling mids for Larsen, a stable, like a safe carry for comp, and then Trimby plays whatever, because he's more flexible in that. Is that fair criticism? And when is Rogue gonna pick up other styles? Like, for example, we see Veteo and Humanoid, for example, play things like Silas, and they play the Akali and stuff like this. But that's something we haven't seen from Rogue yet. Not purely criticism toward Larsen, because he is very good on those control mages, but that is one of the things that people are pointing at with Rogue.
um, I mean, that is one of our focuses for playoffs. Try to kind of diversify champion pool in a sense, but I do feel like
Why
I don't
not? Why not
know.
during the regular split?
Because I mean, I do believe that what we're doing is good
Mm-hmm.
and should be the best. Because I mean, you're bringing up the Akali. I feel like the Akali was, or like the Akali or Silas, the burden of execution is on them to kind of they need to play perfectly to even go even. While
Mm-hmm.
when you have champs like, I don't know, Victor or Yana, these champs are like, even though they're control mages, they're like lane bullies, if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
play properly. Like, I think Larson played into Akali a couple of times this split, or like, and he played Victor, and at one point he's like 20 or 30 CS ahead. And yeah, Akali is a cool champion, just dashes around and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Larson is very good at Victor. He's, like, yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Like, it's not that like, if we believe that the champion will be good, or if it's in certain situations, I'm more than confident that everyone will do his job and play it.
Yeah.
Um, but I also feel like you're not looking at the other side of the coin. Why is Vitio not playing Victor, all of these control mages, and
He is.
play
He
them
has
like
played
as,
Victor. He's played
yeah,
more.
but
He has the most champions of any mid laner in the split so far.
yeah, but does he have the same performances that Larson has on control mages? I mean, maybe he's thriving better on, or doing more on, like, I don't know, like these sort of champions, and maybe their
Mm-hmm.
team functions that like that better. It's more like
Yeah.
when their team identity is like, yeah, Veteo is the main carry, you can literally play whatever you want and make a comp around you however you want,
Mm-hmm. That's
and
fair. Yep.
get everyone to play around you. So it's like whatever fits the team identity, and maybe for playoffs our team identity will fit these sorts of champions. But yeah, I mean, there's a long time on the new patch, and we need to see if these champions are even going to be good, you know,
Okay.
and stuff like this.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all the questions I had then for you, Odoamne. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you all very much for watching. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content.